It's time for more Led Zeppelin. When I first heard the title of that name, I thought of the fabric, cashmere, the super soft, luxurious, but that's spelled differently. Kashmir with a K is actually a reference to a place in, is it India? The northernmost geographical region of the Indian subcontinent. The word Kashmir means desiccated land. Desiccating meaning lacking vitality or interest, having had all moisture removed. But it's weird that that word means that supposedly when the actual land is supposedly full of beautiful valleys, lakes, and mountains. This song, even though I think at the time Led Zeppelin had never been to Kashmir, this song was inspired by the long drive through the desolate landscapes of southern Morocco. You guys ready for this? It's a longer piece. Buckle up. And please bear with me. If you want to listen to the song without interruptions, go listen to it on Led Zeppelin's YouTube channel or on Spotify. I have to break it down now and then for two reasons. This is a review and breakdown channel, but also for copyright claim reasons. I can't be protected under fair use if I don't add significant commentary. So let's enjoy this together. That intro, that chord progression, I know, but I don't remember where I've heard it. As the thing that stands out to me as I've been busy reviewing some of the latest releases in pop music is that this is just so intricate. This is on another level. The chord progression, the introduction, the way that they all play together, this being live on top of all of that. But then to have such a catchy hook, but it's beyond a catchy hook that you can just get stuck in your head all day and now it's on repeat, you have a cool bridge and that's it. It's a 9-minute long video. It's crazy. A different level of musicians, a different level of performance and of music. That is not to take away from modern day artists that are doing the best they can and that are using their love for music to put something out in the world that is from their heart and their experience. There's nothing wrong with that. Different tastes for different people all around the world. But it's just interesting when you compare your simple verse, chorus composition that is meant to be simple, straightforward, and get stuck in your head. So it goes viral and brings in a bunch of money. But you compare that to an intricate piece that is inspired by real life experience and that has so many intricate elements. It's a different type of art, in my opinion. Can I say something? Psychologically, since this was inspired by that journey, I'm picturing being on a journey, driving down through desolate lands and through all kinds of landscapes, and the journey goes on and on and on, and it just doesn't end. And that's very much how life is too. Beautiful moments, hard moments. But to have that beautiful mix between him singing lyrics, expressing how he's feeling, putting it into words, and then having moments of just oohs and ahs, that to me is very fitting psychologically to how we process, how our brain processes. We have those moments, some of us more than others, where we process externally or internally. There's words to put in words what we're feeling on this journey. And then there's just moments where all you can do is sigh or ooh and ah. But it's sung in a melody that is relatable, that we all can sing along to. It's this idea of this is your personal experience and you are processing. It makes me think of the Psalms in the Bible where there are these stanzas of poetry and then it says Selah. And it's almost like this moment of meditation and resting and pondering. Here too, I find this moment of we're vocalizing, we're processing, we're maybe almost like a sigh. And that's what the journey is about. There's not always time to talk. We're not always just going or just processing or just thinking. Sometimes you just got to let it sink in. And this moment fits to that in my mind. Like I'm not doing it like he did exactly, but that Oriental, almost the Arabic quarter note feeling fitting because this was inspired by that journey through southern Morocco, honoring where he was when this song was inspired. His vocal range, the timbre of his voice is so distinct, but what he can do with his voice, even still after all those years, oh my gosh. The beautiful blend of the Oriental mixed with with rock. I want to pull up the lyrics real quick for you guys. It's this interesting conversation about being on a journey, and it's so parallel to life. Let the sun beat down upon my face with stars to fill my dream. I'm a traveler of both time and space to be where I have been, to sit with elders of a gentle race this world has seldom seen, who talk of days for which they sit and wait when all will be revealed. It's beautiful because it paints this picture of being on a journey, meeting these tribes, meeting elders of a people that others don't know about. And it's this beautiful idea of your world being open. That's why I love this channel and going on these rides with you guys, because when we listen to music, when we travel the world virtually and literally, our mind is open to all the other things that are out there that the world has seldom seen, that others may not know about. And people who may be talking of days that they sit and wait for, or that where they wait for all to be revealed. They have their faith, their view on death and life, their view on what the point of all of it is, etc. And it's this journey. I hear this journey here of seeing a part of the world that is new to you. Talk and song from tongues of lifting, lilting grace, sounds caress my ears. Though not a word I heard could I relate, as in maybe I couldn't understand the language, the story was quite clear. And I think, again, it's this storytelling, beautiful songwriting, very poetic, but this beautiful songwriting, this beautiful storytelling about this journey where you're discovering people. You hear a language you don't understand. You learn about people's faiths and views on life and where they're waiting for all to be revealed. But I also see parallels to life in general from a philosophical standpoint, because that is the duality of life for all of us. We have the sun beating down on us, right? Not only literally, but also the hardships of life, the thing that we both need to live, but also that makes us sunburn if we're not careful, or it gets too hot and uncomfortable. And at the same time, we have stars to fill our dreams. We find ourselves, as Dr. Irvin Yalom says when he speaks on death anxieties and staring at the sun, looking at the thing that we often don't want to look at, looking into death, looking at what life and death is. And at the same time, our life is filled with dreaming. What would life be if we didn't have the stars to dream about, to fill our dreams? What would life be like if all we had was the barren desert and the sun beating down, without having that space to dream at night, for things to be cool, for us to dream and wish, literally, and in life, so to speak. We need both. All I see turns to brown as the sun burns the ground, and my eyes fill with sand as I scan this wasted land, trying to find where I've been. That is so poetic, trying to find where I've been. Not trying to find where I am, not trying to find where I'm going, but where I've been. To me, that implies I'm trying to make sense of where I came from, where I've been, where have I come from, what is this wasteland? And that is, again, fitting to where he literally was at the time, but also fitting to life. We go through this life. We have to stare at the sun, both a thing we need, but also dread. And that's what death is. We're headed towards something we don't understand. We may have our faith about what comes after. We may have our reasons to live. We may have found our purpose. We may find purpose in our roles as a husband, wife, son, daughter, father, mother. But there's still a lot of things we don't understand. And our human tendency is to want to need to dream, to have dreams for the future. A man without a vision perishes. There's a scripture that says, but then at the same time, this tendency to want to make sense of where I've been. Where am I? Where have I been? O pilot of the storm who leaves no trace, like thoughts inside a dream. Pilot of the storm who leaves no trace. That is so poetic. But what does that mean? The pilot of the storm? What is this? The divine God? There's no trace of him. We can't see him. Or is this being the own pilot of our own life, our own storms? Heed the path that led me to that place with yellow desert stream. My Shangri-La beneath the summer moon, I will return again, sure as the dust that blows high in June when moving through Kashmir. Father of the four winds, fill my sails across the sea of years. See, this is beyond just, I feel like, a journey or a few days or weeks spent in a place on this planet. To me, this is so symbolic to life's journey. Father of the four winds, fill my sails across the sea of years. The sail. And that's so poignant seeing them older playing this song, because the years have passed and they have moved across the sea of years, and they have had wind in their sails going north, the four winds, northeast, southwest, going all around the world. Maybe a yearning to explore and travel more, but also a reflection on life. With no provision but an open face along the straits of fear. So powerful, so poetic, these lyrics. No provision but an open face. I have nothing else with me than an open face. At the end of the day, we can't take anything with us when we die. Where we come into this world with nothing, we leave with nothing. But all we can have is an open face. And to me, that implies eyes to see and perceive, to smell, to taste, to hear what's going on. An open face maybe in the sense of an open mind, to be willing to learn even the things that are foreign to us, even when we don't understand the language being spoken. An open face, maybe in the sense of open arms, an open face willing to embrace, to see, to perceive, to be alive along the straits of fear. The straits of fear. That's so interesting because it makes me think of lines which cover our face as the years go by. It makes me think of the straight path, even though life is often not quite straight. But fear that keeps moving, it keeps being interwoven into our life. When I see the way you stay, oh my baby, let me take you there. Let me take you there. I think this again, two ways to say this, take this, maybe a double entendre. Let me take you there as in I want to show you this place I've been to. It's so beautiful. But also let me take you there in life. I want to take you there to this life together, to this journey of life. So poetic and powerful. What are your thoughts on this one? Subscribe for more. Thank you for being on this ride with me today, and I will see you on the next ride. Ayo.